Hey Dreamers, I'm Bryce from Midnight Notion, singer, songwriter, musician, and avid fan of Metallica, but I have no idea what my favorite song is. Could it be Enter Sandman? Let's use math to figure it out. Cue the intro.
So give it to me now!
For the best Metallica song! Here we are, friends. Enter Sandman, track number 1 from the infamous Black Album. I'm calling it the Black Album, even though it's actually called Metallica. You all know that, but we all call it the Black Album, because look at that cover. Look at the cover behind me. It's kind of dark. It's not actually black, but still. I mean, it's like a faded black. It's faded to black. But anyway, this is the song that brought Metallica from a band that only metalheads knew about to a band that everybody knows about. Skyrocketed them from opening for Ozzy to being the headlining act of their own show. I can't say enough about how widely known this brought them into the public eye. It's just very important to their career. Again, if we were putting up flag posts at every major important point along their career, this is one of the most important points. However, we're not going to grade it based on how important it was to the band. We're grading it on the following categories: lyrics, instrumentation, composition, memorability, and emotional response. Each one of these is a 0 to 4 scale with a grand total possible points of 20, and we'll see at the end if this one makes it to the top 10. Now, I want to put a little disclaimer on here because I know, as just a fan of the band, someone who's seen them multiple times live, I think I'm at like 8 or so right now, I've heard this song at every show. I've seen live videos of theirs. I've got their DVDs. I don't need this song in my life. I've heard it enough. I know that it gets a lot of radio play, and some of you out there are probably sick of it, but I am going to grade this fairly, and I want to know if this song matches my criteria for what kind of songs I enjoy. That's what we're doing here. So, putting our judgments aside, all of our biases out, we're going to grade it that way. I also want to start off with a little guitar lesson. First, we'll get to the song itself. We'll play a little bit, and I want to give you a little lesson. All right, here we go. From the top. Hi-hats on offbeats. Little wah guitar there. Wah, wah. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Yeah! Okay, cool. Time for a guitar lesson. This intro often gets learned this way. And you might be saying, hey, that sounds pretty close, right? But the problem is, if you listen to the recording, this G is being held out. And when I have my first finger on the G, and then I move it down to this A, it's no longer being held out. So you might think, okay, well, there's a G string. Maybe they're going. But that's also not correct because the G string has a higher timbre. It feels higher. You can hear the thinness of the string. And this is definitely, it's not the same. This has more weight to it, more thickness. You can hear the difference. What James is doing is he's actually holding it like this. He's putting his pinky finger on the E and his middle finger on the G, like this. That allows him to hold that G out while also climbing down from this B flat to A, or A sharp to A, whatever you want to call it. But just a fun little guitar lesson for those of you guitar players out there. If you're using your first and your third finger, move it over. It's your second and your fourth finger. Meanwhile, Kirk is over here just some chord like that and hitting a wah pedal. And then we get to the hard rock guitars. He's just on that last, on the four and, on the and, he's hitting this E. The first time around. The second time around, it's... The third time around, they are building to the main riff. This is absolutely excellent songwriting. Taking one riff and building it out as far as you can go. We're starting with the clean part, and then we're breaking it down to just the E's for a heavy part, and then we're adding that A sharp or B flat, and then we're adding the whole climb down, do-do-do, and then we get to the main riff, and then with the main riff, we have a tag. 3 times through, do 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 do. Fourth time, da 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 da. I am in love with pattern breaks, and already in this song, we're breaking patterns all over the place, but we're setting them up in creative ways. We're building upon the same idea, and it's just this is why they became popular. This song is very beautiful to the average listener's ear. Whether or not you believe that this follows where they started, oh, they're not thrash anymore, they're sold out, whatever you feel like, great. They sold out. That was the intention. They sold out every freaking stadium from that point on. So knock it if you feel that way, but they're making more money than I am, and they're making probably more money than you are. So I don't know. I can't knock them that much. All I'm saying is, this is how you make a memorable piece. Well done. Let's jam out. Those toms. Also, listen to the hits, where the hits fall. There was just one, then there was two. 1, 2, 3. Now it's 3, okay. Now we got the snare drum. Snare. 1 hit. Snare. Build. Here we go. Fireworks. Boom. And bass. Finally some bass. You know what? I've brought out the guitar, the acoustic, the electric. I've brought out drumsticks. It's time to bring out the bass. All right, sound nerds, don't at me. I'm not Rick Beato here. I don't have the perfect tone, but I just wanted to show you a little bit about this riff, because we have from the guitar, and you'd think maybe the bass is just following that. But the bass is actually skipping that high E and staying on the low E. It sounds like this. The bass doesn't need to hit that high E. Keep that low end and let the guitars do their work, man. Great job. Listen to the guitar riff here too. We're kind of mirroring that intro in that the hits are only on the and for dun 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 dun, right? Except instead of going up to that E, they're going to the F on the low F. Dun 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 dun. It's cool, man. It's cool. Lot of different ways to break this main riff apart. And then in the second part of the verse, I guess you could call it the pre-chorus, we go up to the 2 again. I've been saying this over and over. They use the 2 all the time in so many songs. They're using it here too, but they're using the 2 too. They are going to the 2, the F sharp, and they're playing basically the same riff, just higher. Do 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 do. Anyway, I'm nerding out about this song. I can't say enough about just compositionally how masterful it is. So cool. Still on the two. I also appreciate how the drums are just this straight, it's just kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare. Kill 'Em All, Lars, would be like boom, boom, ka boom, boom, ka boom, boom, ka boom, 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 ka boom, boom, boom. It's too much. You don't need that much. Drummers, hold back. Let the song breathe. Just a straight beat just keeps driving us forward. Wonderful. Lead guitar. Again, pattern break. We have the main riff again. We're back to it, but how is it different? This time it has a lead guitar. We're back to the verse, but how is it different? There is a harmonized section and it's different each time. And then we get to the chorus. How's the chorus different? We end with an extended never, never land. He doesn't say that on the record version, but it's that the ending of the second chorus is different. Back to the main riff. How's it different? It's got a solo over it. Back to the intro riff. How is it different? The drums are in right away. And then we go to the two again. It's constantly building upon itself. It's constantly changing and morphing. This is how you write a catchy song. Good job. Side note, I love the clip of them recording this song and Bob Rock is telling him to do something like, woman, woman. They ended up with yeah. But honestly, put a yeah in your song. Yeahs are wonderful. Yeahs are easy to remember. People can say yeah anywhere across the globe. Everyone can say yeah. So put it in the song. Why not? It's great. That little yeah. This is where James becomes the Papa Het. You know, like that. We hear this over and over in his songs. Over in that early part of the catalog, he goes, wow, wow. He was trying to be like David Lee Roth or something. And now we finally have the yeah. We hear it in like Fuel and like just songs from here on out. Yeah. So great. The two, pre-chorus. Chorus. Drums. Yeah. Okay, we have to have a chat. Me and you, Metallica. I'm directing this directly to you, James. We got to talk about this next part because the Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep is a perfect opportunity for a call and response. I'm just saying, this is a cool part of the song. It's a cool part of the song. That we agree. Having a recording of this part to play during your live performances only works if you're playing to a click track. It doesn't work when you just let it play at any point in the song, it doesn't line up. There are so many clips of them playing this part live, and the "Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep," and the kid gets cut off on the end, or the adult gets, the whole poem doesn't get read before they go to the next section. Why does that happen? Because they're not playing to a click, they're playing by energy. And that's fine. You don't have to play to a click. My answer? James, just say it. Just go, "Now I lay me down to sleep," and the audience will scream it. "Now I lay me down to sleep. Pray the Lord my soul to keep. Pray the Lord." A perfect opportunity for a call and response. Why has this never happened? They made an attempt at Orion Music and More, but instead of doing the poem, he was doing like Metallica family, Metallica family. It was kind of like, all right, I guess we're in the family. But like this, why are they not doing it that way? Why? This is the perfect opportunity. I know I'm ranting about a live version on a review of a recorded version. I'm just saying, you're a fan, you're watching this review because you love the band, I'm assuming. Maybe you're just discovering them, so maybe this is news to you. But those of you who are fans of the band, tell me, wouldn't you think that this would be a perfect spot for a call and response, a big old audience participation moment? Because I can tell you right now, the way they play it currently, no one in the crowd is going, "Now I lay me down to sleep," because the rhythm is off, because we're using a recorded track that was set to a certain BPM, and you're playing a little bit faster, and it never, ever lines up. I want you to post in the comments below if you can find one video where this works out really perfectly. I would love to watch it. But at the same time, I am hereby petitioning for all the Metallica fans to comment below, "Hey Metallica, make this a call and response part of the song. The concert needs some more call and response. Make it happen, Metallica. It's so easy. We already love you. Let's get this going." All right, back to the song.
Now I lay me down to sleep. Pray the Lord my soul to keep.
Pray the Lord my soul to keep.
If I die before I wake,
I pray the Lord my soul to take. It works. That's how you win over the audience. As a solo artist, I have written songs that nobody's ever heard before, and I've taken them live with my band, and I have gotten the whole crowd, 100 people, to be able to sing along with something they'd never heard before. It's easy. Just make it call and response. That's all you gotta do. Now, I know I'm talking about a band who at this point skyrocketed to fame. They were touring for 3 years straight, so they didn't have that issue at the time. I'm just saying this would be a perfect moment. I'm gonna blab on about this forever, but come on.
Under your bed, in your closet, in your head. Exit light, into night.
Change.
Grain of sand.
They tricked you. You thought they were going to say "take my hand," but they didn't, because we're going back around for another chorus. Listen to the whole harmonies. That's 3 times. 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the tag. They played the riff 7 times there before doing the tag. Every other time it's been 4, but they had those 2 times with just the guitar, 5 times with the full band, and now they're whoa, whoa, and now we're back to the intro, but we've inverted. I want you to listen. They're doing the palm mute section, right? They're gonna do the full riff, and then they're gonna break it down to just the doo-doo, doo-doo, and then they're going to break it down to just doop, doop, and it's just breaking it down, and then it'll fade out from there. But listen to how they break that riff down. Now it's just doop. They don't even have the F in there anymore. There's a little solo going on. The Off to Never Neverland voice has sort of a chorusy flangey effect. I can never get those two straightened out, but it's and then the Take My Hand has a heavy reverb on it. Sounds like he's at the end of a hallway. Take my hand. He's a little noodling on the guitar. Camera cut out before we finish the song. There's nothing left. It's just fade outs at this point on. But wow, I mean, I did say a few songs back that I felt like fade outs needed to be reserved for songs that just jam out. This fade out doesn't necessarily feel unearned to me. I think that this is an appropriate fade out. It feels right. It's the first track on the album, so that's a little weird to start with a fade out song. But it, I guess, isn't super. It's not off-putting. It doesn't matter that much. I'm talking too much about the score. This is a lot of fun, and this is gonna be a hard song to grade. But let's get into it. Whoosh. Lyrics. What is this song about? It is about the Sandman, and boy, howdy, is he ever going to enter and take you off to Never Neverland. It's kind of a scary story, right? Something you tell around the campfire. Ooh, watch out. Everybody, back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, or whatever it was when they, Mr. Sandman, bring me. Like, that was a like, hey, Sandman is a cool person, right? This song is like, no, this person is evil. He's a beast under your bed, right? It's a song about nightmares and about the things that could be lurking in your room. It's a cool take. I like that it is doing a real fun play on words. We got a reference to Snow White. Not about that. We're not talking about that. This is worse than that, right? If that's the bar, this is scary. And then we have that reference to the Lord's Prayer, or not the Lord's Prayer. That's hush little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna find you a mockingbird, right? But in this case, hush little baby, don't say a word. There's noises, watch out. It's kind of cool. It's like a children's story, but scary, but also cool. I like the play on words, and I also want to point out how succinct it is, how it gets to the point. I think that a struggle a lot of artists have, especially when they're new, is that they tend to want to say too much. They make verses and choruses that are just too long. They try to put too much content in there. And you don't have to put that much content in there. Your song can literally just be about one small, tiny thing. These verses are to the point. They're in sections of 4 and a pre-chorus loops. The pre-chorus repeats. There's a lot of repetition in the song. There's a really catchy hook. The line is memorable. I can't say enough. I think this is really cool. I think the only thing really missing, if I was looking for a favorite song, is it doesn't really say something that's important. But I don't want to knock it for that. I just know that they have written more like inspiring things. So it's really, really good. It's still on the positive. This one lyrically, it's getting a 3. Instrumentation. Now, I know yesterday when we were talking about Dyer's Eve, I gave him a lot of points for playing really fast and really technical. This is the opposite but similar situation in that I really appreciate when instrumentalists recognize their place in the band and they play accordingly. It's not that you always have to play a certain way. If you're a drummer, you can only play straight beats. If you're a bassist, you can only play the root notes. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the parts of this song, the main riff, the chorus, everything works so well because the instruments are not overplaying. They've backed off enough to allow the music speak for itself as a unit. They're playing together. Do 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 do. It's all very simple, but it works, and it only works because of its simplicity. That, to me, is the difference between a band that's trying to show off and a band that's writing a good, well-crafted song. They now have reached the point where they can just play things naturally and it sounds good because they're not they no longer have to show off. We know who they are. We recognize their name. We've seen it on the billboards. We've heard the concerts. We've heard the CDs. We're on the 5th record. They don't have to show off anymore. Now they can just sit back and let the music speak for itself. Instrumentally, this one gets a 4. Composition. You know I love a good pattern break. They set up one pattern from the very beginning and they stretched it out. They changed it. They broke it down. They built it back up. They had a fill that was snare and cymbal, and then it became snare kick. And like just everything in the song just builds upon itself, breaks it down, builds up, breaks down. We go to the 2 and it's the same riff. We come back to the 1 and just compositionally beautiful. They set a hook, they repeat the hook, they remind you of the hook, they come back to it, they set an expectation, they paid it off. Promise, progress, payoff. It's story writing, it's storytelling, it's songwriting. I love this piece. This is the prime example, in my opinion, of patterns. If you're trying to describe why patterns work for people, this song should be your example. Excellent work, excellent composition. This one gets a 4. Memorability. If you can't remember this song, what kind of rock are you living under? How unforgettable is that? Just the main riff. Good job, Kirk. I know that the initial main riff was repeat. It was good that they took it and they stretched it out over 3 and then had the tag on the end. That's much better that way. But either way, that riff just sticks. How many times have you heard this at a baseball game, football game, at any sort of sporting event? How many times have you heard it on TV? Just they play it at every concert. It just is a hook that sits. It gets in your ear and it doesn't leave. And outside of the music, we have lyrics that stick. Off to Neverland, right? Are we referencing Peter Pan? I don't know, but it's grabbing onto intellectual property that we're familiar with, and it's twisting it in a new way, which helps us because we remember those things from other sources. We know who Peter Pan and Snow White and the Sandman are. We're twisting them all around to make them beasts, and now it's a metal song. But either way, we're taking something that society already knows, and by changing it, it's already memorable just referencing it. It's already referencing. And then just changing it a little bit, we can adapt to that change quickly as humans. I can't say enough. It's super memorable. The whole chorus, exit light, that's 2 words. Enter night, take my hand. And then off to never. So it's a handful of words, but it's super, super, super memorable. This should be no surprise. Memorability, 4. Emotional response. I'm having a blast. I love hearing this song. I know that I said in the beginning that I don't need it live. I would be all right if they didn't play it at a concert, but I recognize why they have to, because this is the song that made them the worldwide phenomenon that they are. So they have to pay tribute to that. You never know who's going to come to the concert for the first time and be disappointed that they don't hear the #1 big hit. So that's why they have to play it. I think that I only bring this down because I don't need this to be at the top of my list. I don't want it at the top of my list. I know that it's not my favorite song, or at least I feel like it would be too easy to call it my favorite song. So I really love it. I'm energized. I'm happy to hear it. I'm always happy to cover it and play it live. I'm always ready to sing along when they bring it live. But I'm not ready to say that it's the most fun I've ever had in a Metallica song. So knock at 1 point, but otherwise really solid song. This one gets a 3. And with that, Enter Sandman gets a grand total of 18 points. You already know it's in the top 10. Let's take a look. 4th place. Wow. Even with my harsh critique there on the end, it still made it to number 4. This is going to be a tough battle. We have a lot of really great songs ahead, but wow, 4th place. That means we just got rid of Fight Fire with Fire. We'll miss you. Thanks for hanging on. It's been a long journey, and we appreciate you being on this top 10. But now on the chopping block, it's Dyer's Eve. It only lasted 1, and you never know. It might not last till tomorrow. I don't know for sure. I haven't scored anything in advance, but this is a pretty solid top 10, don't you think? 1, Master of Puppets, Creeping Death, Sandman, Blackened, Sanitarium, Ride the Lightning, Fade to Black, Damage Inc., and Dyer's Eve. Wow. I don't know what I've got myself into. This is going to be a very, very difficult thing. And there are definitely going to be some ties. But Sandman just beats out Blackened because of composition and memorability. So that's why that's ahead. So far, no ties. Let's hopefully keep it that way. But I'm sure it's going to happen. We're going to have some sort of battle. You're going to have to tell me what you want me to do with any songs that end up in a tie, because we're going to need something. And now it's your turn. With the comments below, tell me what score you would give this song. Are you sick of it? Or do you need it at every show? Let me know. And make sure you check out Midnight Notion. We've got music all over the place. Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your music online. And hit that subscribe button to be here tomorrow as we check out not Sand Patrol, but Sad But True. You want heavy? Midnight Notion's giving you heavy tomorrow. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching.